At what point is it so bad for a team and an owner that it actually becomes something that you've got sympathy for, or empathy? Well, I won't have that, but sympathy for. And then I realized as we were counting down to the live show, and it's in my ear, 5, 4, and all of a sudden, weird eyes came over as though I was the AI guy in Atlas. I got these blue or red pupils, and I said, empathy, sympathy? Let's start with what happened in the Mets day. It's too good. Edwin Diaz stinks, is owed so much money, gets demoted, back to closer, gives it up, and then out of nowhere yesterday, oh, I have a shoulder impingement. Guys with a 1.769 ERA don't get shoulder impingements. Players who are ineffective and need time and cannot be hidden even in middle relief, all of a sudden, ooh, I got a little crick in my crock. Do you know how easy it is to prove a shoulder impingement? Nope. It's like a headache, folks. Are they getting an MRI for the shoulder impingement? They may say they are, but they're not. The Mets decided they were going to give Edwin Diaz a rest and thought that'd be the worst part of their day. They'd have to explain how they gave so much money to the guy with trumpets, how devastatingly good he was, and then how the World Baseball Classic ruined him, and now he stinks. Yeah, but that's fine. Let's keep going. Let's see what else could happen during the course of a day. The Mets are playing the Dodgers. They get swept in a doubleheader, lose again. Yesterday, Pete Alonso gets hit in the hand. He could be out, could be hurt. You do not want a player getting hurt on May 30th. There are a few times, let's say it a better way. There's no day you want a player to get hurt. It's just bad. You have to do all sorts of things when a player gets hurt. You have to deal with workers' comp issuations. 4.869. You have to deal with workers' comp. You have to deal with roster moves. You have to deal with competitive issues. You don't want your player getting hurt. The Mets are deciding, are we going to be able to decide Pete Alonso? Do we have to move him? Should we trade him? Should we not trade him? Are we going to make the playoffs? Should we not? Do we have a chance? Does anyone want Pete? Should we save the money and then tell him we love him and sign him back? Is Alonso like Shohei with the Angels, where we ask him if he wants to move and he says, no, I really love it here? Really? Turns out Shohei loved LA, just not the Angels. Close. Maybe Pete will only allow to be traded to the Yankees because he loves New York so badly. Now that he's hurt, you need him to come back, prove health, because otherwise you're not going to get the value that you think, and therefore you can't save the money you owe him, and therefore you're stuck. So that was pretty bad when Pete Alonso got hurt. But that was only the tip of the iceberg. If Francisco Lindor is upset in the middle of, what does he have, a 20-year, $900 million contract to hit 210? Whatever his contract is. If he gets upset, you talk to him. You may suspend him for a game. You may fine him $500. You're not designating him. You're not trading him. They know it. You know it. The media knows it. Then there's players who are on the borderline. Maybe a 3-year deal. Maybe a 1-year deal, but a heavy investment, a 1-year, $20 million deal. And you talk to them and you explain to them where they are in the hierarchy of tolerance. Now, we're talking about a baseball team. In life, the hierarchy of tolerance, to me, is a flat curve. Everybody ought to tolerate everybody. In baseball, there is a hierarchy, and it's not a tolerance based on race or age. It's based on talent and performance and results and money. So there's certain players who we'd say to, Lopez not being one of them. We'd say, hey, do us a favor. We are counting on you this year. We're not afraid to move on, but don't act like a D-bag if you don't mind. Al Leiter would be an example when he signed him to a 1-year, $8 million deal in 2005. That's sort of middle of the road. We're not going to be scared to get rid of you. We really don't want to. And then eventually we may, and guess what we did? But not on the first strike. You really need to wait. Then there are players sort of on the 1 year, $2 million deal where they've got this much, and I'm holding my finger super close. Lopez got ejected from a game yesterday for a third base umpire to eject a pitcher. If you've been on a baseball field during a game, I don't care if there's 5,000 people in there or not, the umpires will have a hard time at third base hearing a pitcher. You need to say something or gesticulate in a certain way that is fairly obvious and audible. So Lopez did something, gets ejected, walking off the field, takes his glove and throws it in the field. It throws it, God damn it. I wanted to deliver that perfectly. Takes his glove, throws it over the protective netting, which now exists in baseball to protect you from foul balls that donk you in the head so you can't sue us. Gets it over the netting into the stands. Only third or fourth row. It's hard to throw a glove much further when you have to get it so high. I'm watching that and I'm thinking to myself, what would I be doing if my player just did that? That's the equivalent of racket abuse in tennis. You get docked a point, maybe a game. You've seen Djokovic do it. It happens. I've never seen a player throw his glove into the stands. So I had no idea what I would do because I hadn't done it. So I had to think about what I would do in the moment. So I looked at the player. I looked at his contract. I looked at his performance. And I said, oh, I'm going to get rid of this player. So I'm thinking all this through. But I'm sort of still doing my diligence. And all of a sudden, beep, beep, I get a text. And it's a video from Coca with an interview that Lopez gave after the game. And I don't know if we have video of it. I don't know if we're allowed to use video of it. Maybe we do. We have video of it, Coca?
I don't regret it. I think I've been looking the worst teammate probably in the whole MLB. So, whatever happened. So, whatever they want to do it. I'll be tomorrow here if they want me, whatever they want to do. So I'm going to keep doing this thing, so I'm healthy on whatever, on whatever to do. I'm ready to come back tomorrow. And if they want me to be here, so I'll be here.
They don't want him here tomorrow, which is today, because after that interview, he got designated for assignment. That'll just about do it. Now, there is a conversation about what he said. It sounds as though he's saying, I'm playing for the worst effing team in MLB. There are people who believe that what he was saying is, I've actually been the worst teammate on the worst team. There could be a lost in translation issue. There is a rule in baseball that there must be a Spanish-speaking translator in the clubhouse after every game, before every game, whenever there is media around players. It is a rule in the CBA. There must be a translator. Where was the translator? The player does not have the right to tell the translator to go away. Was the translator doing a different interview? Better not have been. I'd fire the translator. After the game yesterday, the story was Lopez. If we find out from the Mets that the translator was doing an Edwin Diaz interview, that's the fault of the PR people for the Mets. You do it in order. You don't let the media talk to both Spanish players at the same time. The reason why the translator has to be exactly with Lopez is to avoid exactly what happened. Because if I want to designate a player, I am thinking to myself, I need to avoid a grievance. The way to avoid a grievance is to make sure that I've done everything exactly by the book. It's very simple when you're running a company, any company, when you're running any business. If you do things the way they're supposed to be done, while it may not be popular, it's not actionable. While people may criticize you, they can't win if they sue you. These are good rules to live by during your life. Do the right thing, even if it's painful to other people. Just do it right. The translator needs to be next to Lopez. The Mets were absolutely within their right to get a clarification from Lopez. Did you just say that we're the worst team in MLB? Did you just say that you've been the worst teammate in MLB? And apparently Lopez was given a chance to clarify, and he did not. He said This is exactly what I meant. I'm the worst teammate on the worst team. That ain't no better. It's not like he's been horrible with a 3.76 or run average, but certainly the juice was not worth the squeeze. So that's the end. Lopez gets designated. And I'm thinking to myself, what is Steve Cohen doing right now?